Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Golf News RI, the podcast, episode 16, I believe. Could be 17, I lost count. Anyways, joined by Anthony Pioppi, he's an author, and we're here at South Shore Golf Club in South Kingstown. Anthony, thanks for taking a few minutes.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's great.
So for those, this is obviously be streaming later. We're recording this around noontime. We just finished playing the brand new South Shore Golf Club here at South Shore Village.
Yep.
And 9-hole course. A really cool place. Obviously, like we talked about, it just opened a couple of weeks ago. It's not even really officially open yet, right? It's opening in June.
Yeah, well, I think it officially opened last year for the residents, but it was a quiet, soft opening.
Okay.
So yeah.
So either way, it just opened.
Right.
But a really cool place, and we just played 9 holes. I finished birdie par, so I'm feeling good about that. I just missed an eagle putt.
Yep.
But Anthony, just talk a little bit about this place. Obviously, we just got done, but I thought it was really impressive. Really cool features. I don't know if there's any course like it kind of in the region as far as all the different things you can do and ways you can play it.
Yeah, I think they did a wonderful job. It's private right now. We're going before the town to get it to get hopefully get it public, but it's great because it's 5 sets of tees.
Mm-hmm.
From the back, it plays about 3,100 yards. So for 18 holes, it's 6,200-yard golf course. But the really cool feature of it is there's a par 3 tee on every hole. And there's a par 4 tee on the one par 5. So you can play it as a par 27, a par 28, or a par 35. So there's an amazing amount of versatility, different people of different abilities can play the golf course and have a blast doing it. And it really, I don't know if there's another golf course in the country that has done that and set up legitimate par 3 tees on every hole.
And I like how on some of the holes, like the par 3 tees are sort of hidden, so that way it's not like so obvious to people that are playing the golf course the regular way. You could, in theory, you can drive onto a par 3 tee.
Yeah, it's great. And the par 3 tees aren't an afterthought. They're off to the side, but when you looked at them like we looked at them, they're smooth, they're level. They're just going to be out of the way. There's going to be a different angle, and it's not just all 120-yard shots. Some of them, one hole's up to about 195, but they're tucked in these little areas and there's nice angles into the green. But like you said, it doesn't present it doesn't visually impair you from playing the back sets of tees. It's really interesting concept and well done.
Yeah, really, really cool course. Well, I was fascinated by, and we talked about this so much on the course, it was just the green complexes and the undulations in the green and how big the greens are. Some 9-hole courses you see, and that's not a shot, and it is what it is. They're smaller greens.
Right.
And they can only do so much. And again, I'm not shot at anybody, but whatever. But these greens, the greens are huge. And I thought the green complexes were fascinating. We were hitting all different putts.
We did.
All different places. It was quite something.
To me, that's always a sign of great greens, right? Is when you stop after you played the hole to go back and hit putts. Not the putt you had, just you look to different tiers or different angles or different avenues. And this has this for 9 holes. They're a blast. And I think this is one of the kind of the modern understandings of golf, even on 18 holes. When you have it in a residential area, the same people are going to be playing the golf course all the time. You have to make it interesting. And 9-hole golf courses, and I've written 2 books on 9-hole golf courses, used to be an afterthought. And this is obviously not an afterthought. This is a lot of effort was put in to make this a very challenging, fun, and entertaining golf course. I mean, 8 of the greens you can run the ball onto. So it's not designed to beat you up, but it's designed to challenge you and be fun. And we had fun.
Oh, we did, yeah. I mean, the rough was beating me up, but
Get it in the fairway. That's the answer, right?
Yeah, well, easier said than done.
Right.
Right. The other cool part was that I noticed, and you mentioned it, and I was thinking it, was, this obviously is a community, it's a village for 55 and older. But you don't feel like the houses are like right on top of you. Like there was only, and it was just because I stink. There was only one hole, I think the second hole where the houses were on the right.
Yep.
Over like the water.
Yep.
And I was like, boy, if I like shanked us, like this could be a disaster. But obviously not. But there was only one hole. That was the only really hole. And again, that was just a me thing, more so than a golf course thing. Where you really felt like the houses were on top of you. Sometimes you go to places and like the house is like right there, and you're like, boy, this could end really badly.
Well, we've talked about
but
that.
You don't feel like that here.
Right.
Again,
there's not one hole where there's homes on both sides of the fairways. So you never have that claustrophobic feel. You're aware of the houses, but there's wide hole corridors. You talked about hitting that house, but you would have had to hit an F- drive to do it.
Well, yeah, I know, that's true.
I mean, you're aiming this way and the ball went that way, but you're absolutely
I'm an F
right.
minus player. F minus players, F minus drives, you know?
You just finished birdie
Listen,
par, you're not
yes,
F- player.
yeah, well,
But you're right, and so it's never that feeling of, never that feeling that you're playing inside of a condo complex or inside of a residential community. It has a really nice open feel to it.
yeah, and I think that makes it easier for people to play and feel like, okay, I'm not gonna like break a window, like, you know, I can just kind of play
Right,
normally. Like you said, I would have hit a really bad drive to hit that house, but
right,
things happened before. So I want to talk about you a little bit. You're fascinating. This is our first time meeting in person.
Right.
You've written 2 books on 9-hole courses.
Yep.
I made notes of them,
The finest
the finest nines and
to the nines.
to the nines.
Yep.
Yeah, that's read my own notes. Talk about, so I'm a writer, obviously, we write content on GolfNewsRI. Talk about kind of those books. Obviously, it's been a few years since they were
Yeah.
out, but you talk about what was your process in putting those books together? I'm always fascinated with other writers and
Right.
their processes of.
So to the nines came out in 2005 or 2006. It was it went out of print and then it was revived in 2013. And then the finest nines, which ranks the 25 best 9-hole golf courses in North America, came out in 2018. But I was writing for a publication called Golf Week Superintendent News, which doesn't even exist anymore. It was a magazine by Golf Week for golf course superintendents for the turf industry. And I was just talking one day to Brad Klein, who was one writer. We were talking about books, and I got the idea that I thought I wanted to write a book. And I grew up in central Massachusetts. I grew up in Southbridge, which is next to Sturbridge. And there's 9-hole golf courses all around us. You know, there's a 9-hole golf course in Southbridge called Cohasset that Donald Ross designed. There's a quirky course in Woodstock, Connecticut, Woodstock Golf Course. It's been there since 1896. So I was under the impression that most of America had 9-hole golf courses everywhere, and they don't. And I just thought it would be a fascinating topic to write about, because at one time, especially in the early days of golf, 9 holes were legitimate. Like, people built 9 holes and that was enough. So all the great architects have designed 9-hole golf courses. Charles Blair McDonald, Seth Rayner, Ross, Tillinghast, George Thomas, all of those guys and Mackenzie did 9-hole golf courses. So I started looking for not architecturally great courses, but courses that had great stories. 9-hole golf courses with great stories. And once I did that, I found 20 of them across the country, and just, you know, put that all together and then brought it to a publisher that doesn't even exist anymore, and which is sad in itself. And they liked the idea, and it became a book.
And then you did it again with the.
And then I did it, and then I got approached a number of years later by a publisher that realized that 9-hole golf courses, the popularity was up and coming, and wanted to do something about that, and came up with the idea to do a ranking. So I had a list. I had in my mind what I knew, and then I talked to architects, a lot of architects around North America, and then just got some tips from different people and did some research on the courses and ranked them that way.
You think, I mean, obviously you have expertise on 9-hole courses, and now in Rhode Island, we have obviously this place, you have, King's Crossing, Goose Quizet, Met Links eventually is going to be 9.
Right.
You think 9-hole courses are continuing to grow, and that's kind of the new way to get people into the game, instead of, hey, go out and play 18. Well, let's just go play 9, and then hey, maybe you'll have fun and we can go play 9 again, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I think the golf industry has realized that, and it comes down to time. Even if you play if you and I go and play 18 holes right now, and we played in 4 hours, which is legitimate, it's still a 5.5 hour day, because we're going to warm up before we get there for a half an hour, just hit some balls. We're not going to leave the golf course immediately. We're going to hang out. And let's just say drive time is 15 minutes each way. You know, 5.5 hours, your day is gone.
Right.
With 9 holes, it's not that. It's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. So this is really about getting people to the game who don't have time to play 18. And you're seeing that too, where 18-hole golf courses, public or private, have legitimized the 9-hole round. It used to be frowned on. Now they want to bring in people to play 9 holes because of this time constraint.
Yeah, it's really, I think that's a great way for golf a great direction for golf to move in, as far as getting people just to play 9 holes in here. Like we talked about, you can play all different versions of the course. You can play a different version of the course
Right.
you
Right.
play 5 days a week. You can play a different version of
Right.
the course all 5 days if you
Right.
really wanted to. With different tees, different
Right.
not different greens, but different pin placements, etc. I think that's one of the coolest things, about this place. Just playing it for the first time, seeing it for the first time is you can do all different things. And I think that's why this place is so unique. And I wonder now if other people are going to see this and maybe implement it at their course to
Right.
some extent. Obviously, you can't copy
Right.
it exactly, but there's certain things you can do to implement.
I don't know if there's any course around here that has as much movement, undulations, rises and falls as these greens do. They're wildly
I
entertaining,
can't
right?
imagine this.
They're a blast. But to your point about changing tees, think about the third hole, right? We played that par 3 from 175 from that angle. To play it up 40 yards from that right front tee would be a blast. It's an entirely different club, but it's an entirely different shot. We have to carry sand that time, and the other time we could have bounced the ball in like I did, and I agree with you that it's going to be fun. You could play it 5 days a week, and with the pin positions and where you play in from and all of that, it's going to keep you entertained every day of the week.
Yeah, that par 3 was, again, the green was humongous, and the up tee that you showed me, I thought that was cool because it was elevated. You're kind of looking down on the green.
Yep.
And I told you about this. I think I've even written it in previous course reviews for places. If I was a golf course architect, all my tees would be raised and the greens would be low. I just think it's such a cool shot.
Yeah, it is
to watch your ball land.
Right.
And I just think it's a cool.
It absolutely is. And Donald Ross and other architects have written about that they didn't like blind par 3s because they want you to be able to see the golf ball, especially if it goes in the hole. And that's a classic example of you watch the ball in the air, you watch the ball on the ground. It's fun. It's really fun.
At Kirkbride, where I play, our 15th hole, we have a raised tee and the green is like down below. And 2 years ago, on July 4th, I got a hole in one.
And you watch it go in?
Watch
That's
the
awesome.
ball bounce in.
It's no better feeling, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty. So that's one of the reasons why I like it. But I just think it's a cool look.
Yep.
And for me, I'm a content guy. It's a cool picture.
It's always a good picture.
It's a good picture.
Yeah.
Just talk about, obviously this is just open relatively recently. There's obviously work to be done, a lot going on. New housing going in. The whole village is really cool. You have to drive through the village to get here to the course, and there's like Fairway Drive and there's like Fescue Lane.
Yeah.
I don't know what the things are, but they're creative names. It's pretty clever. Actually, I think this is a Birdie Way. Is that? Birdie Court or something like that. So either way, they're clever names. But just talk a little bit about what's coming up for for the golf course part of it. What can people expect in the next few months to a year, whatever? Just tell people kind of what's next for here.
So the play started in October, right? And with a golf course, it's the opposite of a building. When your building opens, it's never going to be better than the first day. Golf course takes like 2 or 3 years to really get optimum conditions. It's growing it's doing great. They got a great take on the seeding and the sodding in the fall. We just need some warm weather. It's really good. The driving range is open. As you saw, it's a 30,000 square foot grass tee. It's amazing. It's 300 yards deep. There's a temporary building right now where the pro Paul is working out of, Paul Dumont, and then there's going to be a small clubhouse built in the near future. There's already a practice putting green and a practice chipping green. And eventually, within a year, there'll be a clubhouse. And the golf course will just continue to get better, as far as the turf. As you saw, though, the greens were great, right? I mean, the greens were excellent.
The greens were great. The tee boxes were great.
No,
it's in good shape. Like you said, there's obviously work to be done. It just opened. But it's going to be, once we get to midsummer, the end of the summer, I even think you'll see this place firing.
I agree.
Cylinders, even more so than it already is.
And we're at the mercy of Mother Nature here.
You certainly are.
The sooner we get warm weather, the sooner the golf course is going to be great. And that's all we really just need is some warm weather.
Absolutely. Well, this has been great. Been a great morning and a great podcast. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and playing. It was a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we'll do it again. I can try to go birdie par again. Maybe maybe eagle par.
All right, make that eagle. You drive the short par 4 and then I'll go with
the 8th hole, folks. I drove the par 4. Where's the 8th hole? 8th hole. I drove the par 4. I had like a 15-footer ish for eagle, and I missed it short side, amateur side, as they say. And then I made the birdie putt coming back. That was my second eagle putt, and it was inside a week. I had an eagle putt on Saturday,
Wow.
and and I just missed it.
Just 2 birdies though, right?
Tapping, that was a tapping birdie. This was a little bit more than a tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey.
Nice way to finish though. Birdie
I'll take-
par. We'll finish all the rounds like that, right?
Yeah. And I didn't post birdie F up, just for you people that are gonna bust my balls about it.
No.
I made par on the next hole.
Yeah, you did.
So
You had a birdie putt on the next hole.
I had a
too.
birdie par on the next hole.
Yep.
I don't know if it was yeah, it was a makeable birdie putt, I
Yeah.
think. I can't remember.
You had 240 coming back, so it's fine.
So anyway, so thanks everyone for tuning in, and it was a great day here at South Shore Golf Club in South Kingstown. Check it out. If you live in the area, obviously, if you live in the village, you probably know about it. And I know there's more news coming, hopefully, like you said, in June, and stuff and other things. So we'll keep you posted on that. But thanks everyone for tuning in. This has been GolfNewsRI, the podcast. We'll talk to you all weekend long on GolfNewsRI.com. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you later.